Let's do The Last of Us Season 2 premiere. Future Days, it was called. Again, we'll do a recap. What did you think in general? Did you enjoy it?
Loved it, yeah.
Did you... I'm not going to compare it to Daredevil, but...
Loved it, but was confused as hell.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good how it just went straight in.
Yeah.
But then I watched it with Jill,
and
I
felt too straight in, and I was like, what have I missed?
I've not played the second game. I know what happens. We're not going to spoil anything.
I only got to the school in the first game, so I literally was...
I've played the first game 4 times.
Yeah.
So I know it. Do you know what I mean? And it changed a little bit, but I know the gist of what happened in the first series very, very well. But I was sitting there watching it with Jill, having to explain who that was, why she's annoyed with him, what he did. I'm like, he's gonna tell her what he did, and she's like, what did he do? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but we found out that that's not even it, is it?
What's not even it?
That's not even why she's mad at him,
isn't it?
No.
What? We'll get there. What?
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a bit.
Okay, that's fine. Right, let's do the recap. So, like we just said,
I'm absolutely questioning myself now.
Okay, no,
but I'm
fine.
certain.
This isn't something you've read from a future episode?
No.
Okay, sound. So, we start off, like we said, straight where season 1 finished. Basically, them two in the forest and her saying, swear to me. Swear to me that you're telling me the truth.
Yeah.
Which we saw at the end of series 1.
Yeah.
But then we meet the remaining Fireflies. Led by Abby, played by Caitlin Dever, and there's some other familiar faces amongst them. So it's apologies if I pronounce it wrong. Tati Gabriel is playing a character called Nora. She's from Sabrina and You.
Okay, yeah.
So she was there, and then Danny Ramirez, Joaquin from Falcon, on New Falcon was there. I was like, what? How? Yeah, okay. I didn't expect him.
Pace.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to be there at all.
Yeah.
So he's playing a character called Manny, and we basically find out. It doesn't go into huge detail as to why, but we get the gist of it. Abby wants revenge.
Yeah.
She is after Joel.
Yeah.
She says, we'll sort what we have to sort out, but I need to kill this guy.
Yeah, they were basically saying we need to recoup first before we can do anything.
Yeah.
Because if we go in now as we are, we'll be dead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's more important things to look after.
Yeah.
But the dude who's with her basically promises and says, we will, once we've done what we need to do, I'll help you. Yeah. And she's like, and we'll kill him, won't we? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, slowly. This dude's got to suffer.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Right, this, again, I've not played the second game. I know what happens, though. I know where it goes. I know the major story beats.
Yeah.
I didn't know this, though. This is a big departure from the game in that she's a playable character in the game. And I don't know if you start the game as her.
Yeah.
And I think in the game, you know she's after somebody, but you don't know it's Joel.
Right, okay.
So she's put across as like a hero. And then you find out, I think, that she's the villain.
Right, okay.
So,
that's quite cool.
It's a big departure for them just to be going straight in with like she's the baddie basically for the series. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. You've got to pace things differently.
Was that why people? I'm actually not going to ask that question because
don't ask anything. Don't go online. Don't do anything.
Frightened.
No, she was.
Because I was going to say, was that the twist that you thought that she was on side and then it? But I feel
I'm
like
not going to respond in the slightest.
Yeah, I was going to say I feel like I'll open a can of worms and I'm scared.
Yeah. So so don't do anything. Okay. I think that there's a number of big things that happen in the game, and I think something big is probably gonna happen in the next episode.
Okay,
but I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
But I think it's gonna move quick. That's what I'm going with. It's already moving quick. We found out her motivation basically.
Yeah.
First 2 minutes of the show, it's gonna move quick.
Okay.
Time jump.
5 years.
We all love a time jump. Loads of time jumps in The Last of Us. We're now 25 years later than episode 1 of The Last of Us, and they are basically back in Wyoming with Tommy at the village that's all got big walls on it. Basically Alexandria,
which gives such a country and western type.
Oh, it's good, isn't it?
And
I love it. I love it. So there's this huge tension between Joel and Ellie.
Yeah.
But I didn't think we knew why.
I automatically thought it was going to be she's found out what he did.
I didn't think she's found out what he did. I think she just suspects him.
No, it's something else.
What? Okay, what did you?
I don't know what it is, but it's. I think when I was reading it, it just says it's not what you think it is.
Okay. Well, it's fine.
Which
I don't know what it is.
Absolutely cool with.
Okay, yeah, okay. I thought you were going to tell me it's this.
No.
Okay.
I would never do that.
Stop reading things. I thought.
I know. That's what I did stop reading.
I thought I'd missed something in this episode.
Oh, no.
No, I was like, how? What? How?
No, well, so because I got confused, I read a review of that episode, but then in the review, he started talking about flashbacks and stuff, and I was like,
there are going to be flashbacks in this, yeah.
But I was like, we haven't had any flashbacks, so
no.
I thought we had a double episode starter.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
I don't think
did I forget to watch episode 2?
I mean, we might have, and
could you imagine?
Everyone's sitting
I'm pretty
there going,
certain we haven't.
No, we didn't.
But I was like, yeah, I was like, have I missed like?
If
was
we
it a
did,
two-parter?
we'll catch up next episode.
Could you imagine?
Maybe, or we'll be a week behind for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, it started talking about the flashbacks, and I was like, what flashbacks?
No, yeah, I think
I was worried I'd missed something, so I was like, stop reading because I might spoil it for myself.
Yeah. So I think I put it. I sort of got onto it. Not got onto it, but I thought it was she suspects he's lying, but she's pissed off that he won't admit that she's lying. That's what I read it as, but yeah, maybe that's not it. She also wants to be super independent, so we see it throughout the episode. The conversation with Tommy where she's like, I don't want to sit on the gate, I want to go out and do a recon mission. The fighting at the start. Yeah. And then we see it in the actual recon mission, and then at the party at the end.
That was good.
Yeah, she doesn't want help at all. She just I don't know whether she doesn't want help from Joel or she doesn't want help at all, but I get the impression it's just she doesn't want help from anybody, because when you find out...
She wants to be completely self-sufficient.
Yeah, like, because when she finds out that the dude at the start pulled a punch...
She was furious.
Yeah, she was not happy. She's like, I want to be able to take a punch, basically, and she can't.
I'm wondering...
she might be able to, but
you know what?
They didn't think she could.
For me, I'm wondering whether it's because of the fight scene in the...
with the dude in the
the
cannibal,
bar when it was
cannibal priest
bit,
rapist.
Yeah. I was
everything,
going to say when it was a bit rapey.
Everything. Everything. All the evil stuff you can do wrapped up into one character.
Yeah.
Basically.
So I was wondering whether
liked Iron Fist
it's like her PTSD from that.
Yeah.
And she's like,
she wants
Joel's
to be ready for anything.
Because the way she screamed when Joel grabbed her. Do you remember?
Oh yeah,
that was hard watch.
In Series 1.
That was that was a really hard watch.
Yeah. Great though.
I know. So I'm wondering whether this is her going, I don't want to be that person ever again.
Yeah.
I want to know that I can fight my way out if I need to.
Yeah, and I think that's probably it. Yeah, and probably again a little bit of the reason why there's that animosity between the two of them, because Joel's got his own shit going on at the same time, and it's heavily pushing the narrative that his only priority is protecting Ellie.
Yeah.
Potentially the community as well.
Yeah.
But I think, again...
But Ellie comes first.
Oh, Ellie is just 100% his priority at this stage. Probably because he loves her, and he calls her like his daughter at some point, doesn't he? Like, your kid and all that sort of stuff. And Caroline O'Hara, is that her name? Catherine O'Hara is like, she's not. We'll get to that scene in a minute.
By the way.
But... He will basically... I think he's also trying to go, well, if I've murdered all these people to protect her, I need to protect her. I can't have murdered all these people
for nothing,
and then she goes and gets eaten by a clicker. Do you know what I mean? It's got to mean something, basically. So it's pushing that narrative, even to the point where he's hesitant about letting anybody else into the town.
Yeah.
Even though, again, they're like, well, you were a refugee at some point. He just doesn't care.
But then again, how many times were they manipulated throughout the first season?
Exactly.
By other people.
Yeah.
This is the thing, and this is again another thing that I like about The Last of Us. Yes, there are clickers, and yes, that's a big part of the story. Yeah. But it's not the center of the story.
That's why
Walking Dead was so Dead. Yeah.
Because it wasn't just zombies. And this is zombies essentially, and we'll get to the bigger threat of zombies further down, but so again, something else that shows, I think, very subtly that he will do anything to protect Ellie is this therapy session with Catherine O'Hara, because she said, which is basically Gail, a character is, he killed her husband, which I assume he'd been bitten.
I'm assuming
and
that,
he's just been like,
but she's literally
it's a
said
threat.
To him,
bang,
the way you did it.
Yeah, just no hesitation, I assume.
Well, that's what I've gone down the route of.
If we're getting flashbacks, we've got to get that as a flashback.
Yeah.
That scene...
She was amazing in that scene.
They both acted their asses off.
Yeah.
I've only seen her in a comedic role.
Yeah.
Home Alone, Beetlejuice. I didn't watch all of Schitt's Creek. Schitt's Creek,
Schitt's Creek was.
It was
batshit crazy though. To be fair,
no, but I could right. Even though I only watched like the first half of the first series, I could see her having a few serious moments in it. Tell me, I might be completely wrong.
Yeah, she did, but not many.
But it's gonna be like few and far between when it's like acting from the heart or character speaking from the heart. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But
it was another level for this.
She was good in this.
She was very good.
I thought she's just gonna be. When we found out she was in
it, comic relief. Yeah.
No. And then when it's the therapy sessions, it's going to be like, right, okay, I get where these therapy sessions are going to go. She's going to be the sarky therapist, but...
And she absolutely wasn't.
No, this was like...
And then when she was literally like, I fucking hate you.
I hate you.
I was like, oh my God, this is deep and I love it.
Good. It was great.
Like... And then she's just like, but I've got my professional head on, so I'm working through my shit.
Yes,
like,
so let's work through your shit.
Yeah.
And he was so close.
And he was so close to saying.
He was so close to saying it, but I still think that.
But it was like literally the tears in his eyes and everything. Like that scene.
Yeah.
Like as somebody who does like stage work and stuff like that, like watching them two bounce off each other in that scene was just a phenomenal piece of acting.
And it was justified what he did.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But then I think it's that if it had just been a load of people were trying to kill her, so I murdered them all, that's dead easy. The thing that's holding him back is I could have saved everybody.
Yeah.
If I'd let them do it.
Yeah.
Yes, she would have been dead, but we could have potentially saved the world.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's holding him back from just going, this is what I did.
Yeah.
But it's like he can't even get to that. He could have started with they were trying to kill her, so I killed a load of people, and then gone from there.
But if he'd have done that, would her husband have ever died? And that's probably in his
think of that.
And that's probably in his head.
Yeah.
So if he turned around to her and said, 5 years ago I could have gotten us a cure, and I chose this girl over that, and she goes, so my husband's now died for nothing.
I didn't think of that.
Like,
it's so
there's
deep.
so many ramifications the longer it's going on as well.
Yeah.
Every death in between that point and these 5 years later is now a direct consequence of him not allowing that to happen.
The fact that they're still living in this shanty town, the fact that there's refugees at the walls who they're not letting in and all that sort of stuff, the fact that people are still going out and getting bitten.
Yeah.
It's on him.
So it gets heavier.
But it might not have
every
even
day
worked. But there's just so much to it. No, I get that. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, but it's just so good.
There's a lot at play, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's a lot at play. Another new character that we get is Dina, played by Isabella Merced.
Yeah.
She's great.
She's brilliant.
I love her.
Yeah,
she's been in a few things. I think she's going to be in the new Superman. She's Hawk Girl. The new Superman movie. She was Dora the Explorer. I've not seen Dora the Explorer.
Is that who she was?
She's Dora the Explorer, yeah. I saw her in Transformers.
Can you say clicker?
She's dead good, though. She's dead good. She stole every scene. And I like the fact that even we love her. I think most of the audience will just love her straight away. Even though Joel clearly doesn't like anybody else, he likes her. That's the sort of character she is. He doesn't care about anybody in the slightest apart from Ellie. And like his nephew and his brother and stuff like that. But apart from that, it's like she's good. I like her. Yeah, she's entertaining.
Oh, and we also in the middle of the episode.
Okay.
The pipes.
Yes, we saw the pipes. Yeah. So we ended with the pipes as well.
What are they called?
Cordyceps.
I keep going to say it with an F instead of a C.
So, middle of the episode, the cordyceps are
wiggling through the pipes.
Yeah, but I don't think they're wiggling through the pipes. I think they're dead in the pipes. They've gone in the... that's how I saw it. I read it. That's why they've left pipes open with cordyceps sticking out of it, because these cordyceps are dead. They flooded it, but they're not attached to anything anymore. Right. So that's why they can just leave these cracked pipes sitting there with cordyceps sticking out. It's not a threat until the end of the episode, basically. So... Going back to Dina then. So the recon mission with her and Ellie, I loved the whole thing.
Was that before or after the dance?
Before the dance.
Okay.
Yeah. So the recon mission, they basically bugger off from the team.
Yeah.
They find this bear that's been ripped to pieces.
Yeah.
It's taken out a fair few.
That looked so good.
It's taken out a few clickers, but it's been mauled basically.
Yeah.
And they are just after like a bit of adventure. Neither of them want to be told you've got to stay there. They both want to be independent.
Yeah.
The whole figuring out the plan without talking to each other was mega.
Yeah.
Where they're like, and all that sort of stuff.
I was laughing.
It
man.
was
That was
so good.
hilarious.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
The killing the clicker, the pair of them killing one each.
And it's really funny because we literally said in Daredevil about the stabbing.
Yeah.
She was doing that in the neck of the clicker, and it was really, really good.
It was boss. And then Ellie falls down to this room.
I did not expect that whatsoever.
What, the fall?
Yeah.
No, I didn't either, to be fair. I thought this was all going to get done now. Or if someone's going to attack, it's going to attack from behind, or they're going to get outside and the 3 people they left outside will have all been murdered.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew something else was going to happen. I just didn't see this happening.
I think it was because normally you go, yeah, I'm fine. And then there's like a second.
Yeah.
And then it happens. Whereas she was literally still talking. So that absolutely caught me by surprise because, as I say, there's that little build of tension before something actually happens.
The safety.
So I like the fact that there was no safety net there. It was just thrown straight into it.
So she falls into this room underneath.
Yeah.
And this is where we see... they're in...
Can I just say,
what?
As somebody who had not seen a stalker yet.
That's what they're called, stalkers. Yeah.
I thought... It was a baby.
Like a baby infected.
So, you know, when you saw it crawling, I was like, oh no, a baby clicker.
Well, like they've been breeding.
No, I just thought it was like a baby that had been bitten. And so, like, I was like, oh my God, this one, I was like, she's going to find this hard to kill because it's a baby.
Yeah.
And then it absolutely went.
Is it bad that I don't think she'd find that hard to kill at this latest?
Well,
she'd just pop it in the head.
I thought for a minute she might, but then it just wasn't that at all.
Was it a little girl though?
Well, she looked small, but then by the time she actually attacked her, she looked a lot older.
Bigger than her, I know what you mean, yeah.
So I didn't really get that bit, but it was still very, very good.
So we didn't see stalkers in the first season.
No.
But they were in the first game.
Yes.
But there's usually loads of them, like 3 or 4, all at the same time. And they kind of surround you. They're not quiet in the game. But the noise that it was making was perfect.
But they also do come out of nowhere.
No, I know they do, yeah. They circle you, they flank you, basically. Yeah. They're a pain in the arse in the game.
Well, me and Josh were watching this together. Josh screamed, and it was really funny.
Did he?
Yeah.
So,
but he's played both games as well, so as soon as he saw in the background, he knew what it was.
Yeah.
And he was onto it.
I just couldn't remember the name of it.
Whereas me, I'm thinking Baby from Trainspotting or something like that.
Baby clicker, stalker, same thing. Smart, though.
Yeah,
which I think is why they've waited until this series, because it's like, let's get
which I think is a great move,
slightly different.
Because the thing is, again, we got the clicker in the first season, which was brilliant. The way they introduced the clicker, and then you also had the big blob, which was the one that was in the school in the game? Yeah,
that's the one that was in the school and it came out. That's the end
because that's all I got up to, so I didn't see the big blob in the game. So I like the fact that they are staggering the introduction of the different types.
Yeah, you don't need to just go in all guns blazing, otherwise it's like, where are you going to go from there?
Exactly.
It's when you start making stuff up and all that sort of stuff.
But I like this whole stalker thing now.
It was good. And again, it bites her.
Yeah.
Which isn't a threat. No. Obviously, we know that. But do you not think it was a bit weird how no one... I just thought, if you've been attacked by something, are you just going to trust the fact that she's not been bit?
Well, this is why she stabbed. She used a knife, didn't she? Yeah, I know, but I know this was later, but it was because she was with her mate. At that point, I just think
somebody would have checked them when they come back from a recon mission.
But I sat there and I said, "Do you know what I would have done if I was already going to be stabbing myself with a knife to kind of make it look not like teeth marks? I'd have put a third one in there."
Where would you?
Yeah. So, because you've still got that shape. I get what you mean, I'd have just thrown a third one in so it looks like a scratch
when she fell through the ceiling.
Or something like that. Yeah. Just so that it wasn't just 2 in an oval shape that looked like a mouth.
I did think when she got bit, there was like a little bit of cordyceps sticking out, like wiggling its way in. I was like, get it out.
Yeah.
And it was still there when she caught. No, but I was like, just rip it out. And I know she can't get infected, so she's not bothered by it, but still just thought, that's minging, just take it out, just in case. Yeah. What if you're not immune anymore, or do you know what I mean? Or if it was just like...
It was a one-off.
It was imagine if it was just purely a one-off. Yeah. Because she doesn't know.
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't know what's going on in her brain, or the fact that it's all working in there. So very cocky. Very cocky.
Indeed.
We got this council meeting then, which...
I loved that, though.
I liked it, yeah. Because it was some sort of organisation.
It's kind of like their punishment for the fact that they've gone off on a tangent, but then it's also kind of a report. It's like a debrief on the fact that they've now identified a potential new threat.
Exactly, yeah. So it is basically it's going to be smart infected. That's what it is.
And I love that they could see through the pair of them.
Yes.
She was like, she absolutely wasn't there.
She didn't see it. Yeah, she did, I believe her, basically. Yeah, no, I like that. So, we're going to just get, rather than just big herds of walkers like we did in Walking Dead, they're going to be able to plan. Yeah. I don't think they all will. I don't think we're going to get 1,000 stalkers.
No.
I think we're going to get a huge herd of infected clickers, that sort of thing. A couple of the blob things, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stalkers who can herd them. To the right direction. Do you know what I mean? So it is a proper threat.
It kind of gives me a little bit of the Whisperer vibes from Walking Dead.
I didn't get that far.
Didn't you?
No.
So the Whisperers,
many people did, to be fair.
They kind of guided the hordes.
Dressed up
in
as
certain directions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can see it being that. I can see it being that. Yeah. We'll come back to this though, because about the herds and stuff. So we have this New Year's party.
Yes.
And there's this which I believe is just like shot for shot the game.
Is it?
This dance between Dina and Ellie.
Yeah.
That's a relationship starting in the series, I assume. Yeah. That's fine. Because I didn't know where it was going with her. She was just...
I actually really loved that whole scene.
No, I did. I think it was really good. I just didn't know it was
like
going that way.
The actual writing of it as well. So, you know,
every guy
she's like,
jealous.
every guy's staring at you. And then
yeah.
And then she's like, they've got nothing to be jealous of. And she was like... Yeah.
No, it was really well
written. It was just the gentle whisper in her ear, and I thought, this is actually very, very hot.
100%. But do you know what's really good about that?
What?
Again, I've not played it, but I've been told by multiple people that was shot for shot, line for line, the game.
Amazing.
So that quality of writing... coming from a computer game. This is why there's such well-regarded computer games. But that's not a TV show or movie writing. That is computer game writing.
The thing that makes most people enjoy your computer games is a good story that you're invested in. You want to get to the end because you want to know what happens.
Sometimes I'd rather play these games on just the easy mode just to get just to get the story out of it, 100%. And then maybe do a replay in a harder mode. But it's more... It's about the story now with games, not just Sonic fighting Robotnik 12 times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That might sound stupid, but that's what it is. You play it. You play it for the story. You play God of War for the story, and the gameplay is great as well. You've got to have good gameplay as well, but they go hand in hand. But to have something of this quality coming from computer game writers is mega. So the scene ends with this absolute muppet calling them a pair of dykes. Joel stepping in. I was just like, well done, Joel.
I was like, well done, Joel. And then I knew that was what her reaction was going to be.
I knew she wasn't going to be happy with it.
I knew she was going to be
furious.
But
I don't think she was. And again, unless we find out some really bad reason as to why she's not happy with him. And I know there's that animosity. And even if she suspects that he's done something that she's not telling him, and she wants her independence... the way I read that scene was, okay, you might be upset with him for X, Y, Z, and you just being a 19-year-old, but he's stepped in there. Some guy's gone completely across the line, and he's stepped in to protect you. You've got to give him this one. That was my reading of it, and she didn't.
The fact that Catherine O'Hara was sat there and there was a whole point of the camera pointing to her, watching this unfold, is so important, and I have no idea why.
No, I know what you mean,
but I really want to know.
I know what you mean.
And I just loved it. I just thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, the whole scene was great.
Yeah.
So we went back outside. Joel's back at the. Is this where Joel's back at the house playing the guitar? And we see Ellie come back, or is that later?
Yes.
Yeah. And then she just goes straight into the garage, and then we see somebody walking past the dead cordyceps. Yeah. And he drops the sparkler on the floor next to it, which kind of like wakes it up or brings it back to life.
Yeah. Oh, is that what happened?
I think that's what's happened. I might be wrong. Okay. I just can't see that a load of people would just be sat there with a load of cordyceps just sticking out the ground and not burning it or getting rid of it or something like that. So I assume the sparkler has woke it up in some way.
So was it the heat?
Potentially, yeah. Like not
rather
too,
than the noise,
because I think it's icy cold.
Yeah.
It's icy cold, and it's probably maybe just not being able to cope.
I'm wondering whether it's the heat or the light, maybe.
Either, yeah, could be. Might be completely wrong, mate. But that's how I read it.
Yeah.
So it pans out, and I got really confused for a second because I thought, right, we kind of like followed the cordyceps out. We'd had this. There's this bigger threat beyond the walls and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then we saw people walking through the trees with guns. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, the infected have got guns. For like a split second, I was like, they are organised. They've got sergeants and corporals and all that sort of stuff, and they're coming in. But it wasn't. No. So it was the Fireflies.
Yeah.
5 years taking them to catch up with Joel. At the start, she was like over 3 days behind him, and he's like, "Don't worry, we'll catch him up." Yeah, 5 years, and they've eventually caught up to Joel.
But they did turn around and be like, "What do we know about him? He's either Joe or Joel." It was shit. They did say he was like almost like a myth.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I kind of do get that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But they've caught up with him. They're there. They've caught up with him.
Quite a fast progression.
Moving quick.
Yeah, fast progression.
Yeah, it's moving quick. And that was the episode.
Yeah.
If you've played the game, you know where it's going next. If you don't play the game and you've just read it, you know where it's going next. General review though, what did you think?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah,
I've completely back to
been
form.
Waiting for this since the last series ended.
Yeah,
that I know. We've talked about it, and now that we've talked about it, a lot actually happened in it, but not a lot happened.
That's my only niggle with it. It felt like it was a really quick episode. I know, like we had the recon mission and all that sort of stuff, and we've seen this stalker and all that.
Yeah,
I just think for a season premiere, it needed to be a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
but you've only got so many story beats that you can follow without making stuff up, basically.
But I feel like it's opened it with more questions than answers.
No, I
do.
And
I like that, because now there's more stuff to work through, if that makes sense.
But I don't feel like there was enough of a hook. That's my only...
Do you not think?
I mean, I'm
absolutely
I'm
obsessed to know what their beef is.
I just feel like for a season premiere, there needs to be some sort of... something bigger.
Yeah,
it was great, and that's my. I'm being picky, but that's my only thing. There just needed to be something, in my opinion, slightly bigger than what we've got. Just making that scene with the stalker a little bit of a bigger scene, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I've got a feeling by the next episode we're going to get our first horde.
Oh, I do. I think
that's coming in the next episode.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be
when Abby arrives.
Do you reckon she's going to arrive with the horde?
I don't think she's going to be bringing the horde, but I could see the horde, her arrive. It's a big town.
Seeing the horde happen, and she uses it as a
or it puts her off.
Being pragmatic. Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe they get there and they go, "Oh, right, we're going to go in," and then the horde get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't,
because that's what's making.
Where are you? Right. I won't react. Okay. This is good. This is going to be good. Because I know what's happening.
Okay.
To a degree, and a lot of the listeners will know what's happening as well, but then some won't.
Yeah.
So what are your theories then going forward?
Okay. And
I won't react.
Episode,
I'll just sit drinking a beer.
I don't really know. So I mean, there is a spoiler that I have heard.
Okay.
About the whole game.
Okay.
I don't know if it's true or not, because I've kind of just walked away from it and gone, maybe not.
Okay.
But also the fact that it's a TV series, they may go in a different direction anyway.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say what it is?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I probably know if it was real or not, but I don't know whether we want to. If it's a big spoiler.
Yeah, I don't want to be right and spoil it for everybody. But so there's one big one that I'm aware of that would probably pretty abruptly end the series if that was the case.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Because I don't know what they'd do or where they'd go from there.
Okay.
But I don't know that the TV series would do that anyway, so I don't know whether it's something that's going to...
That's fine.
But
that's fine. Well, I was going to say, a little bit of me was like, tell me after the show, but now I don't want to know. I'll know if it's right, but I just want to see it.
Do you know what my theory in this season is? Either Abby's going to kill Tommy.
Okay.
To make him hurt.
Okay.
Or I think his nephew might get turned.
Oh, dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
When hasn't it been dark though?
No, it's very dark.
Do you know what I mean?
What about? Okay, no, I don't.
There was just that whole in the very first episode of season 2, and his nephew's sitting on his knee and he's doing all, and it's the only other person he's got this closeness to.
I know what you mean.
And I think it'd just send him spiraling.
Yeah, I could.
And I think it'd be good for the story because, again, like we've said, there's that whole guilt thing of people are still dying because this still exists because he saved Ellie.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And now his own nephew
and Tommy knows
dies because of it. Yeah. So that will change the entire relationship.
And it won't be a he's been ripped apart and eaten. It'll be a tiny little bite off a stalker.
Yeah,
and it'll be slowly turning, and it'll be if you'd let Ellie die, we would have had an antidote or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. So, I don't want to kill the kid off.
No,
but do you know what I mean? Like, from a story perspective,
I also think that will develop them into not staying at the village the whole time.
Yeah, so that they're not sheltered the whole thing. They need
because that will get boring.
Yeah,
that will get very boring if they're staying there the entire time.
I could see when this horde gets here, it wipes out a large number of people.
Yeah.
And there's no one can stay in this village anymore.
There's just little niggly things that are being said that are making me think, okay, so that's going to get ruined. Like, they were talking about how long it's taken them to build stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that was said in this episode.
Yeah.
They made a point of saying, we can't build fast enough. We haven't got...
There's nowhere for these refugees to go when they come in.
And things like that. So I think kind of flattening that entire village is going to spark a lot going forward. So, it's just all of these things.
How are you going to get a whole series of them all being sat there?
Yeah, the way he's got him sat on his knee and teaching him, telling him he's going to teach him about how to lay pipes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Then the whole thing about how long it's taken to build the village, it just seems like it's really feeding into the idea that
I could see that
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And my other thought was, I do think that if the nephew becomes a cordyceps, I think he will go missing. I don't think we'll see the slow thing.
You think we're going to get a Sophia?
Yeah, I think it's going to be that kind of thing, and we're going to find him turned.
Yeah, I could see that as well. No, but then,
and
I think from a story perspective, if it was a slow thing, it'd create that animosity between Tommy and Joel. But I don't think it would create the animosity between Tommy and Joel. I think it would be he'd be understanding, and he'd let slip to his wife, Rutina Wesley. It's Rutina Wesley plays her, isn't it?
Yeah.
And from True Blood, he'd let slip to the wife.
Yeah.
What? In passing. Oh God! If sometimes I sit there and I'm thinking, what if Joel had let Ellie die? And it'll slip out, and it'll be like, "What do you mean?" And it'll be like, "What?"
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that'll be the hate.
Yeah.
But
do you reckon they would? Do you reckon they would try a second time for a blood transfusion of some form?
What from Ellie potentially? Yeah, potentially. Yeah, could happen.
Because last time they just did a syringe, didn't they?
What do you mean?
Well, they did it in the first season with that lad, the deaf lad, blind lad. No, what was he? He had something. He lost a sense. I can't remember which sense it was.
I don't remember this.
He was deaf. She was doing the comic book drawings with him and stuff, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And he turned in the night.
Yeah.
And they had to put bullets in him, and then he shot himself in the head, didn't he?
Why was she?
The big brother.
Yeah. And did she ask if we can do a blood transfusion?
She did it. She did it in the bedroom with him.
Oh, did she? Oh, yeah. I remember. Yeah. To try and heal him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Because then she cried to Joel and said, I gave him some of my blood. I tried to...
Yeah.
So I'm wondering whether they'll just turn around and go, maybe it wasn't enough blood last time. Maybe
we can try it.
Be a proper kind of transfusion type of thing to see if they... So if they go down the slow route, I could see it doing that.
Yeah, potentially.
Or otherwise it would just be they find him and he's already completely turned.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
That's my theory anyway.
Good starter. Yeah. Good start. Again, I just think it could have done with a little bit something else, but it was still solid completely.